Hey guys, my name's Abir Ahmed, and today I'm doing my presentation on um, Greek mythology and its impact on modern culture. Setting this up was a lot harder than I thought it would be, like having the video and the visual at the same time. I like making sure you guys could see me and the visual, so I have a lot of my notes up on the visual, but I'm gonna try my best not to read straight off the visual, otherwise, it's like not really a speech. But here we go, here's an introduction. Living in ancient Greece had a lot of downsides. The lifestyle that we live today is a life of like kings and queens back then. And the overarching theme of my whole presentation is that Greek mythology, man, the gods were petty, they were criminals, they were vindictive. So if you even gave somebody the wrong look, Zeus would smite you. The Greek gods were as petty as they were powerful. I have a few myths lifted down here that a lot of people might not have heard. I think one of the interesting ones is that Demeter turned this woman, Minty, into mint for claiming that she was prettier than her daughter Persephone, and that's where we get the mint from. So, my thesis is that Greek mythology has enjoyed immense staying power as a result of its colorful and relatable myths, asserting itself through Western society through our vocab as well as pop culture and science. So the main points are the relatability of Greek gods and their staying power compared to other mythology, their impact on vocabulary, their impact on pop culture, and its impact on science. So compared to many other religions, the Greek gods were created to be relatable, like the Abrahamic religions, like Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. God is seen as this all powerful figure, this main sense of morality. But the Greeks saw the world in a different way, so they had their mythology constructed to fit their worldview. They believed that the world was chaotic, anything could go wrong at any time, life was not fair, and there was no divine reason for things. So, to add on to this, the gods were also made in that image. The gods were just like humans with superpowers. They were petty, they were vindictive, they did whatever they want with no consequences. And every once in a while, they would mete out divine justice. But they actually relied on the gods to mess up, to create things like plants and animals. The spider was actually created from the myth of Arachne. She got in a weaving competition with Athena, and she actually won. But Athena was so offended that she turned her into a spider who, does silk now. So that's nice. Language. I think this was actually the most interesting part of this was so many words and phrases come from Greek mythology specifically and not just Greek culture. Midas touch and Achilles heel. A lot of people know Achilles was a warrior. He was dipped in the river, but the river of invincibility. But his mother, he dipped him by the heel, so the heel was the only place where he could get hurt, as seen in the GIF. But another thing is Midas touch. He wished for everything that he touched to turn into gold. So he quickly learned that that was a curse, but in most situations, people don't really use it as a curse. Midas touch basketball, all your shots go in. But erotic is from the Greek god Eros of romantic love. Music is from the three muses. Nemesis is from the Greek goddess. She's not really a goddess. She's more of like a primordial being of like hatred towards like your enemy. And panic actually comes from the Greek god Pan. He was the god of nature. But when he yelled, it caused a panic. I guess the word wasn't invented then. But he caused a panic and humans ran away in fear. So that's where that word comes from. Echo and narcissistic, they also come from the same myth. Echo was a nymph who was in love with Narcissus, and she was cursed to repeat whatever the last words somebody else said to her, because she used to gossip a lot. And Narcissus used to look in to the pool of the water because he was in love with himself. He looked at his reflection until he died. So pop culture, Greek mythology was a huge influence on Shakespeare. The myth of Pyramus and Thisbe directly correlating to Romeo and Juliet. Pyramus and Thisbe lived in a connected house. They whispered their love for each other. One day, when they were supposed to meet, Thisbe went out. There was a lioness who was eating her prey, and she ran away scared, but she left behind her cloak, which was bloodied and tattered. Pyramus showed up, and he thought Thisbe was dead, killed himself. Thisbe came back. She's like, "Oh no, Pyramus is dead." They kill themselves on the same sword. In SpongeBob, King Neptune and his son Triton are based on Poseidon and his son Triton from the Greek myth. And in Adventure Time, there's a river called the River of Forgetfulness. If somebody drinks the water or jumps into it, they'll lose their memory, and Jake actually did drink the water and lost his memory. This is exactly related to the River Lith located in the underworld, where anyone who drinks it completely loses their memory. Scientific contributions. I feel like Greek mythology is mainly known for their scientific contributions. The 48 traditional Western constellations are Greek, and some popular ones are Orion and Scorpius, Centaurus, which is the centaur, the half man, half horse, and Perseus, who slayed the Gorgon, and Andromeda, his love. The planets and many moons are named after the Roman gods and their other figures. Jupiter and Zeus are correlated, so Jupiter is the biggest planet, so it's also Zeus, the king of all planets. Earth is actually the only planet that's not, like, out of the, what is it, seven? Earth is the only planet. It has English origins, actually. So, Mercury goes to Hermes because it's the fastest planet. So Hermes is the flat-footed messenger. It's all in the nice little picture I found there for you guys as well. Another scientific contribution, this is really like social science. The Oedipus complex is the desire for sexual involvement with the parent of an opposite sex, and a rivalry with the parent of the same sex. This is coined by Sigmund Freud. This is from kids between 3 to 5, and most of the time, 99% of the time, he called it one of the greatest achievements of the human mind, that we get over it by that time. But this comes from the myth of Oedipus. When he was a child, he was told from the oracle that his destiny was to kill his father and wed his mother. But his real father and mother abandoned him, so he left his adopted parents, and he ended up killing his father and marrying his mother. And once they found out, he blinded himself, and his mother killed himself. So Greek myths are not for kids, not family friendly at all. Conclusion: through our vocabulary, pop culture, and science, Greek mythology has permeated almost every aspect of modern Western civilization. This is a funny one. In Percy Jackson, the movie, they use a iPod to get Medusa's reflection instead of the mirror. There are so many myths and so many other stories I could have used, but this is just a little basic, like, tiptoe into Greek mythology, so I hope you guys liked it. Living today, I can't help but wonder how the ancient Greeks would have thought about our world. I'm sure they would have came up with a bunch of other crazy myths, but Apollo and Hephaestus, the god of, forging, and the god of the sun would most likely be involved. And then I have my works cited reference page for all my stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed my speech. Let me know what you think.